What's up, guys? Welcome back to Viewer Castles. Today we're going to start off with Pudis Bird. Castle level's at 24, so I'm going to go ahead and do this on my mage. I actually haven't taken a look at my mage skills. I'm probably just going to leave them at the same at the moment. I haven't played with Vortex since it dealt 0 damage. I would like to take this opportunity to test to see if they fixed Vortex not aggroing monsters. But for the most part, I'm just going to jump into this castle. Looks like it was validated on a mage as well. So let's jump into it here. But yeah, I'm not sure, like Thunderclap might be more useful. I don't have any potions, so that's going to make things extra fun. But I could possibly still get through it without having any potions. It's just going to be difficult. I don't have Trap Disable, which is, if the castle was full traps, I probably wouldn't be able to make it through. Alright, well I took a tick of damage there. Okay, so that's a death trap up there. I'm going to try my best to build up a little bit of stun immunity here, I guess. So with these traps throwing you backwards, I'll take a little bit of damage here, but I'll be able to build up some stun immunity. And of course I don't have any room in my inventory or potions because that's how Viewer Castles is. Alright. Alright, so I have my shield up, so I don't really care about taking too much damage here. One health globe. Took a little bit of permanent damage. I'm going to talk about permanent damage now because I don't have any potions, so basically I have to not take damage for these first couple of groups to be able to make it through this without dying. So hopefully I can actually heal up off of a group soon. This doesn't look that scary when I'm looking in there. I don't see any traps, so I'm just going to kind of go in and hope if I can kill off the barricades, whatever. I'm just going to go. Alright, so it's a Jimbo. I'm not too scared about a Jimbo. On heavy-handed as well. With this amount of space to move around with a Jimbo, it's really hard for him to deal damage. No health globes, though. I'm probably going to have to wait for this debuff to leave. I'll just see. There's some creatures in here. If this was any other castle, I'd try to skip at least one side and just take 2 stars instead. Although I'm taking a little bit of time, so I would get 1 star. But either way, I generally don't think it's worth it to fight these, fight inside of mouse wheel rooms if you can help it. Alright, I need to focus down the IMAX. That's going to be the one that deals the most damage to me. Alright, and now I can just kill that off. Alright, what do we have over here? I'm going to just let these guys come to me. Since creatures aren't scared of traps anymore, they should basically kill themselves as they're walking over those traps. At least deal a lot of damage to themselves. Alright, took a little bit more damage there. There should be maybe one more room and then the boss room, if I had to guess. But it looks like that's just going to be straight the boss room, so see how this goes. I guess that my Death Bolt didn't actually work. That's what I was trying to do, is Death Bolt and then go in. I'll heal myself up though. Yeah, if that Death Bolt went off, I think I could have survived. It was really close. But yeah, pretty good castle. I'm not sure, did you use... I think you only had 1 totem? I'm not 100% sure. But another totem inside of like the mouse wheel room even would be okay. Just to prevent forward kiting. Because this castle will have a few problems with forward kiting. If you kite both of those mouse wheel rooms out towards the boss room, and then just get into this open area without any traps, it's going to be fairly easy to kill everything. But yeah, other than that, it's not too bad. I gotta grab some potions and sell some of my inventory, and then we'll jump into number 2 in just a second. Alright, next up is Tolby. Castle level's a 30. validated on this knight, it looks like. So let's jump into it. I haven't done Tolby's castle in a long time. I think I remember doing his castle though really early on. It was either open creation or even before then. I don't know, I remember the name from somewhere though. Alright. I'm just gonna take a look and see where we're going. Alright, so it looks like one room. I always count the rooms when I'm going through a castle to see how many are empty. It can kind of give you a feel for what the castle's gonna be like. Looks like the castle might start up that way. Some barricades in here. It doesn't look like there's any creatures or anything, so we're at like 3 rooms that are used, maybe 4 here. I think this is only 1 room though, so I think it's 3 rooms that are unused. So that leaves about 3 rooms and then the boss room that can be filled with creatures. Alright, so let's see what's going on in here. Alright, so I should be able to just roll across here. And that's a totem room. So I'm probably going to end up kiting these guys out, but I'll try to deal some damage to a couple of these creatures. The springboard traps actually help me here because they're throwing them back into the room, so it's not actually getting outside of the totem area. That's a little bit scary though. Rampam throwing his bombs through corridors like this is actually pretty strong though. Like, even though the unit I've said isn't the best, in my opinion, when they throw them down corridors like this, they can deal a lot of damage, so you have to be careful. They can still kill you pretty easily, so... Alright. See, I'm not sure if you can get your totem up a little bit farther, or something so that it activates the healing process a little bit quicker, but basically if you stand right here, you can notice that you can just kind of fire in, and it's a little bit too easy to do that. Alright, so there's some goatmen there. I will aggro the group, and then when the AoE is about to go down from the Aura Guardian, I just launched a volley. The issue there is that there's no trap pressure in this room, and so you can see this group and you can kind of just time everything out very easily. When you have to dodge things and like worry about damage from other sources, it's a lot harder to time things and actually get volleys down exactly when you want to without taking a lot of damage. So maybe these springboard traps, I mean they're fairly easy to see, maybe converting 1 or 2 of those into ballista traps or something might help. Alright, and then other than that, it's pretty much a normal spike trap room. Alright, I'm gonna go forward here. Looks like there's a General Pow. Ooh, and one of these guys. I almost like these guys, almost. Like, I don't know, in certain circumstances I like them. Well, because they do add a lot of pressure, but their stats overall are pretty weak. And I'm talking about the Rancid Runner. Pow is okay now. I don't know. He's still not amazing, but he's alright. I mean, the Rancid Runner's like tanky enough where he pretty much keeps pressure on you for a while, but I think he's like 15 points or something crazy. 12? I don't remember. 14? I don't know. I don't know what the exact number was, but it's pretty high. Or I think he would be more useful if he was like 8 or 6 even, and just be like a Cyclops. I mean, obviously that might be a little bit overpowered, but right now he's kind of weak. Alright, so this guy, you had the Fire Sleeve set up so he would do his tail flick, but I think it was a little bit too far away for it to actually work. Oh god. I tried to walk up for bear traps right there, and I got silenced. Alright, so pretty good. Obviously there's a few changes that you can make, like I mentioned. A couple little things that might help your groups deal a little bit more damage. You know, you could easily see that Goatman group that I ended up killing without using pretty much any potions whatsoever. If that was able to deal enough damage, you know, I'd be down to 1 potion. And you can start to think about those things where you can start forcing out a few more potions and possibly kills. That's really what you have to go for. But, yeah, let's jump into number 3 in just a second. Alright, and lastly we have Ocelix. I haven't attacked his castle in a while. He's just one of those players that has been around for forever, like since closed beta. There's a couple of these guys still around, you know, Genesis has been around since then as well. I don't know, there's others, but I don't remember everybody. I remember Ocelix and some people competing in competitions a long time ago for blings in closed beta when, I mean, they're still not really an endgame, but back then they were doing competitions every week, basically, for attack and defense. It's pretty fun. Alright, so some Devlins up there, a lot of mouse wheel traps. I almost want to get hit by these because I want some stun immunity, because this seems like it's very deadly at this point. I actually like this room quite a bit. It's a lot of points, but like I actually have to forward kite this because I can't fight in this room. This might be the first room where I can possibly fight, but even here it's pretty difficult. Like I don't care, I'll come back for the totem. Right now I need to kill everything else besides the totem in order for this all to work. So yeah, this is probably the easier zone to fight in. If you're gonna put this many traps in, you might as well possibly put more traps in here. Even something like a few more of those if you have them available to you. But everything else is pretty difficult to fight in. Like you can fight here, but when you aggro everything, it's really hard to. I don't remember what I was gonna say. It's really hard to fight in this zone because there's monsters pretty much surrounding you everywhere that deal a lot of damage. So you can't really stand here. Like after you kill off everything, it's really easy to say that this is an okay zone to fight in. Although there is 5 ballistic trap pressure, so I mean it's not the easiest thing to fight in. Still probably up here is where I would choose. Alright, so I'm down to 2 potions. I think I may have came in with 3, but I'm not 100% sure on that, to be honest. I just bought potions, so I should have enough, so I probably just used one where I don't remember. Alright, here's a ram skull. Luckily he's attacking my skeletons for right now. See how he does. I kind of like him in conjunction with Smelly Warriors because it's like he's attacking me and the Smelly Warriors attacking me, so I can't be around this zone and I can't be around here, here, or here because that's about to attack me. So to take no damage, it's pretty difficult actually. I guess he's a little better than I gave him credit for. I did end up buying 2 of them and I'm probably going to stop there. Just because I want to save just in case there's something else coming that I want. Alright, I'll use one of my last potions here. Is this going to be a totem? I'm assuming it will be, but we'll see. We'll stand here until either they kill themselves or there's a totem, and it's the totem. Alright. If there wasn't a totem, they would all kill themselves, so that makes sense. And it looks like this is going to be a boss that's probably connected to the totem as well. I kind of like Dragonificus being on this totem, to be honest. It looks like maybe the totem doesn't have him on it, though. Yeah, alright, so it's just going to be me soloing him, basically. Dragonificus, you really have to just stun him a lot. He doesn't deal a ton of damage, like, close to the person. That's the worst attack for close range, is when he does that. So you want to just... He does have a tail flick that stuns you. I guess that's one thing that he does have. But for the most part, you want to just keep him from flying up into the air. He's going to do it once, pretty much always, I think. If you can stop him from doing it a second time, then that's good. Use my last potion. I can't really take much damage here, else I'll die. He might actually get up into the air. Nope, I got him. Alright. Then let's come back and kill off these guys here. Not gonna go on the caustic carpet. Probably should have engaged first, so that I could actually hit and deal damage with my AoE. Oh, so you're using old bear trap archers. That's kind of interesting. I'm not sure why though. I guess to try to. Oh, it's a green puddle. Is that what's going on? I didn't notice if these were all corrosive mines when I jumped in. But if that would make sense if that's the case, because you want the 3 traps to keep them inside of the puddle and actually make it deal its damage, because it's really high damage. This is something that I used, I don't know, a month and a half ago or something. Corrosive mines deal a lot of damage, but it's hard to keep the person in them, so you surround it with archers that have bear traps, and then you get stuck inside of the puddle and deal extra damage also because of the archer bear traps as well. And it can pretty much burst you down. It'll at least force a potion if that happens, but it didn't quite work out that way. But yeah, pretty good castle. Ended up using all of my potions. I almost like Dragonificus if you can connect every boss to a totem. I'm not sure if you can, but if you can, because I don't know, he can fly up, but I guess that wouldn't really force the totem. It's just the fact that you generally have to get away from him when he flies in the air, or else you'll take the AoE ground damage. So if you get away from him close, like far enough away from him, he might just heal back up, and then he's gonna get 2 more flies and heal back up, and every time he flies in the air, like, you know, the more hit point. He's probably the tankiest boss that there is, so it's really hard to make that work. I think that's number 3. Yeah, it is. So we're gonna end the video there. As always, if you guys enjoyed, please subscribe. If you want to be a part of ViewerCastles, you can email me at frenzycastleruns@hotmail.com. That's in the description, as well as a spreadsheet that I put all the castles on. It takes me a couple of days usually to update it. I have right at the top that it says when it was updated last, so you can kind of tell whenever you sent your email, just to make sure that it's on there and everything like that. I think that's pretty much it. I have one more castle to run. I'll probably run that in a couple of days for viewer castles, and then I'll be out of castles again, but I have the patch video coming out, which this might actually come out after the patch video depending on when they released it, since I'm recording this on Wednesday. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.